We're going to first baseman now, and honorable mention wise, we're starting with Michael Bush, the Chicago Cubs infielder. Definitely had a great impact for his team. Still learning the game, still learning the ways of the league and whatnot, but he's been doing a great job since he's been in the show. Yeah, 27 years old, 2 years in the league. He's got a 1 year, $800,000 deal, which is a steal for this Cubs team. Um, with having offensive numbers that they want to continue to increase, having a guy in Michael Bush is going to be super impactful because he's got those streaks where he can go off and hit dingers for 5 6 games there. So he's got the talent. He's got a great glove on hand, and yeah, just a good solid player. 152 games played, 496 at bats, 73 runs, 123 hits, 28 doubles, two triples, 21 home runs, 65 RBIs, 63 walks, 162 strikeouts, two stolen bases, a 248 average, a 335 on base, a 440 slugging, and a 775 OPS with 142 games played. At first, 1,132.1 innings, 940 putouts, 77 assists, 4 errors, and 68 double plays for a 99.6 fielding percentage, which is fantastic. Defensive games as a first baseman, he ranked 5th in the NL, and fielding percentage as a first baseman, he ranked 5th in the NL. So, overall, uh, solid work from him. This is a tough list because there's a pretty great list of first basemen. Uh, and he is just getting started. So overall, I do believe that his talent can go up, and I think he could definitely reach a top 10 list if he can continue on the stride where he's at. But yeah, he's been solid. Person we got is going to be Andrew Vaughn, the Chicago White Sox um, first baseman, who was not originally a first baseman. He was able to play in the outfield, and that's a testament to his athleticism. Also, is that the fact that he is super young, so he's going to get even better. Definitely played, obviously, his season at first this year. And, I mean, he's a bright spot in a White Sox team that everyone is looking down towards and being like, they are awful. They are. There's nothing bright about them. But there's a couple players that definitely have the ability, and they're young, to impact the league. Andrew Vaughn at 26 years old, 4 years in the league. He has 1 year, $5.85 million on the deal. So he's got time to, maybe turn it around. I mean, he's gonna have a lot of help, and we'll see if he even gets to a point where he's like, yeah, let's stay in Chicago and suck, or he can actually go to a very productive team. But Andrew's very well deserving of doing this and being honorable mention. 149 games played, 570 at bats, 55 runs, 140 hits, 30 doubles, a triple, 19 home runs, 70 RBIs. 38 walks, 132 strikeouts, two stolen bases, 246 average, 297 on base, 402 slugging, 699 OPS, 122 games played in the field, 1,059.1 innings, 816 putouts, 76 assists, 4 errors, 75 double plays with a 99.6 fielding percentage, which was really good. He was 5th in the AL in defensive games as a first baseman. He was 3rd in the AL as assist at a first base. Double plays turned as first base. He was 5th in the AL, and he was 3rd in the AL in fielding percentage as a first baseman. So overall, defensively, definitely a solid foundation there, and offensively has the potential of getting even better. So honorable mention, I got Josh Naylor, the former Cleveland Guardian first baseman, had a tremendous year. Definitely came into his own and definitely was a huge spark to this offense. Defensively, really was very valuable for sure. Yeah, I mean, just an entertaining baseball player. Not many people really talk about him. Not many people really know about him. He's a guy you should know about. Josh Naylor's 27, 5 years in the league. He has a 1 year, $10.9 million contract with the Diamondbacks, which I think is a huge sign or a huge piece to them. I think that really does spark A, their offense. B, I believe that they just got better. obviously when I do previews, I'll see exactly where they're at with their roster. But having Josh Naylor is huge for them, especially losing in a first baseman and gaining another first baseman younger. So that's great for them. Played 152 games, 563 at bats, 84 runs, 137 hits, 27 doubles, 31 home runs, 108 RBIs, 58 walks, 105 strikeouts, 6 stolen bases, a 243 average, a 320 on base, a 456 slugging with a 776 OPS. Defensively, 137 games played, 1,205 innings, 1,008 putouts, 69 assists, 9 errors, and 110 double plays for a 99.2 fielding percentage. Marvelous. Great work for him. In the postseason, they did get all the way to the ALCS. They did play the Yankees. Played 10 games, 40 at bats, 2 runs, 9 hits, 2 doubles, 5 RBIs, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts, 225 average, a 256 on base, a 275 slugging with a 531 OPS. I do believe that Cleveland could have made um, a bigger splash and maybe even possibly a World Series trip. I believe if Josh Naylor actually was able to, uh, have the long ball work in there. He did play 10 games defensively, 89 innings, 55 putouts, 8 assists, 1 error, 9 double plays, 98.4 fielding percentage. Not awesome. So, I mean, that also kind of came into effect. But I do believe that, with time, he'll be better, especially in the postseason. He was an all star this year. He was 10th in the AL in home runs. He was 6th in the AL in RBIs. He was 4th in putouts in the AL. He was 4th in defensive games played as a first baseman in the AL. 2nd in putouts as a first baseman in the AL. And 2nd in double plays turned as a first baseman in the AL. So, again, yeah, he had a good year. Definitely a career year. And yeah, I expect nothing less from him. I believe that it's just up and up from here. Next up, we do have Vinnie Pasquantino from the Kansas City Royals, the first baseman. Really blossomed this year. It was a joy to see him really hitting the baseball, man. I mean, he's got a great swing to him, definitely in control. I mean, you know, everything's just so aligned, and he doesn't really get off balance. Obviously, there are pitches that are way outside there on the plate, but he kind of gets a really good a really good knack for understanding that I have to adjust maybe a little bit, and gets a great contact on the ball, man. So overall, I mean, he is definitely one of those guys that you need to look out for. He's just going to get better with time, and I do believe that he is a huge asset and piece to this team that eventually wants to be in World Series contention, especially going all the way to the ALDS. So, Vinny Pasquantino, 27 years old, 3 years in the league, 1 year, $800,000 deal for him, which is a steal for the Royals organization. It also, I feel like, could be a prove it contract for him to make sure that this is not a fluke. 131 games played, 496 at bats, 64 runs, 130 hits, 30 doubles, 2 triples, 19 home runs, 97 RBIs, 40 walks, 71 strikeouts, 1 stolen base, 262 average, 315 on base, 446 slugging with a 760 OPS. He was also defensively 103 games played, 893 innings, 805 putouts, 71 assists, 2 errors, 76 double plays, and a 99.8 fielding percentage. So his defense was super underrated for this team. In the playoffs, 6 games that he played, 23 at bats, 3 hits, 1 double, 2 RBIs, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, a 130 average, a 231 on base, a 171 slugging, and a 405 OPS. Um, Honestly, it was kind of weird because I saw no numbers from him defensively playing the Royals in the postseason, so that is weird. But I mean, yeah, I think he's a solid first baseman. I just think he needs to continue to climb the numbers and continue to produce as he's been doing. And I do believe his chances of making a top 10 list are great. So overall, great player to watch. He was 4th in double plays, turned as a first baseman in the AL. So yeah, solid foundation. It's a hard list to make first base, so I think he's done a good job to become relevant in it. Next up, we got a veteran, Carlos Santana, who is playing for the Cleveland Guardians now. Played for the Twins last year. A guy that's been around the game for a long time. While he's not in his prime, still developing, still hitting long balls, still being productive on the baseball diamond. So overall, you have to give him credit. And it's wonderful to see players that are veterans that have been in the game for so long and still producing at a high level. It's just that legend status, So Carlos Santana, definitely a legend. 38 years old, 14 years in the league, signed a 1 year, $12 million contract with the Guardians, obviously losing Josh Naylor. So they brought him in. I wouldn't say it's necessarily um, an upgrade, but I also wouldn't say it's necessarily a downgrade. I'd say it's neutral. The age difference sucks because of Josh Naylor being 27 and obviously, Carlos Santana is 38 years old, but from the production standpoint, I think it's going to be okay. I think Cleveland will be doing a-okay with having him there. I believe, he can still play first base if they want to put him at DH. They'll do that too. So overall, it's a good signing though for them. Definitely, nothing too um, shocking, and 1 year deals are not bad. So overall, 150 games played, 521 at bats. 63 runs, 124 hits, 26 doubles, 23 home runs, 71 RBIs, 65 walks, 99 strikeouts, 4 stolen bases, a 238 average, a 328 on base, a 420 slugging with a 749 OPS. Played 146 games at first, 1,250 innings, 998 putouts, 92 assists, 4 errors, 67 double plays with a 99.6 fielding percentage, so underrated at first. He won a gold glove this year, first in defensive games as a first baseman in the AL, third in putouts as a first baseman in the AL, first in assists as a first baseman in the AL, and second in fielding percentage as a first baseman in the AL. So, yeah, great numbers. Love it. Yeah, deserving. Next is Jake Cronenworth, the San Diego Padres multiple position player. Definitely had his good number of games at first, so that's why I'm putting him at first. Again, he's not on a list at all, top 10 wise, so he's just kind of proven it. But he really has definitely taken leaps and bounds in terms of his career on his productivity and what he's been able to do as a baseball player. So you have to give this guy credit, and you have to know that, yeah, I need to watch him closely and see what he's about because he's a great defensive player. I could see him winning gold gloves for sure. And like I said, he's just improved on every facet of the game. So, good on the Padres for knowing that we have a guy here that's got some potential. This Padres team definitely has potential. So, good on him. So, we're looking at it. Jake Cronenworth, he's 30 years old, 5 years in the league. He's got 6 years, $71 million left in his deal. So, yeah, he's got to produce, right? I mean, he's got a giant contract there. So, it's a good thing, but also I hope to see more of Jay Cronenworth's productivity and for him to keep climbing up. 155 games played, 577 at bats, 72 runs, 139 hits, 29 doubles, 3 triples, 17 home runs, 83 RBI, 61 walks, 118 strikeouts, 5 stolen bases, a 241 average, a 324 on base, a 390 slugging with a 714 OPS. Played 85 games at first, 715.1 innings, 594 putouts, 45 assists, 4 errors, 63 double plays for a 99.4 fielding percentage. So, really good year for him. 7 games he played in the playoffs, 22 at bats, 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 triple, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts with a 136 average, a 240 on base, a 227 slugging, and a 467 OPS. 7 games played at defensive wise, 61 innings, 11 putouts, 12 assists, 2 double plays for a 100 fielding percentage. So, again, wasn't bad in the playoffs. Didn't have a bad year at all. Hoping to see more of Cronenworth. And yeah, for this Padres team to keep doing what they're doing and make playoffs more than once a year and then stall out. So. Into the countdown, we got number 10, Rhys Hoskins, the Milwaukee Brewers first baseman. Came from Philadelphia, had a tremendous career there. Definitely helped them to, going to to new heights, to new postseason heights. I don't believe he was a big part of the World Series team. I think due to injuries, but still was a major part of the city. Came to Milwaukee and really, has delivered what he promised, and that's productivity and being, a solid foundational player. So overall, good on him. He plays with, he plays with a lot of attitude. He plays with, vibrato of winning games, and whatever he needs to do to win those games is what he's going to do. So Rhys Hoskins has had a great start. 31 years old, 7 years in the league. He's got 2 years, $36 million in the contract. The 131 games played, 449 at bats, 59 runs, 96 hits, 14 doubles, 26 home runs, 82 RBIs, 53 walks, 149 strikeouts, 3 stolen bases, a 214 average, a 303 on base, a 419 slugging, and a 722 OPS. 94 games played at first, 777.1 innings, 602 putouts, 55 assists, 3 errors, 52 double plays, and 99.5 fielding percentage. Wild. Really good numbers there. In the playoffs, they played the wild card game in Milwaukee and lost to the Mets. It's a shocking loss, I believe, because I really thought Milwaukee was the better team. He had 3 games played, 9 at bats, 1 RBI, 3 strikeouts, a 0 average, a 0 slugging, 100 on base, 100 OPS. Like it wasn't awesome for him. 3 games that he played there, 25 innings, 17 putouts and assists, 2 double plays for 100 fielding percentage. So, yeah, overall, defensively he was fine. Offensively, couldn't get it going. Mets just surprised a lot of people with their pitching. But, overall, this is a guy into the future that you're looking at, and you're like, well, if they do want to make a World Series run, Rhys Hoskins needs to be there. So he's got an impact on the city, on his teammates. So, yeah, very well deserved of being on a countdown here. It's going to be Yandy Diaz from the Tampa Bay Rays. Yeah, the first baseman's really coming to his own. Yeah, last year he won the batting title. This man was hitting 330 average for the season. It was nuts. It was great to see that for the game. Definitely a guy that's a veteran, but also hasn't been in the league for that long. It's just one of those stories, you love to see it. So Yandy Diaz definitely deserving of being in the spotlight of this. It's honestly the fact that his offense has been um, so productive to this Tampa Bay team that you need to put him on there. The impact he's had for the club, and I mean even the fact that his numbers defensively might have not looked amazing, but still, he's still a very important impact to the team and where they go on next year. I'm excited to see what he does. Like to get back to where his 300 average was normal. So, Yandy Diaz, 33 years old, 6 years in the league, 2 years, $22 million. His second year on that contract is a club option worth 12 mil. So we'll see if they keep him. I wouldn't see why not. 145 games played, 563 at bats, 55 runs, 158 hits, 31 doubles and a triple, 14 home runs, 65 ribbies, 50 walks, 95 strikeouts, 281 average, 341 on base, a 414 slugging, a 755 OPS. Played 112 games for first, 956.1 innings, 784 putouts, 45 assists, 9 errors, a 98.9 fielding percentage. Again, those errors definitely killed him, but overall, solid numbers, you know, solid body of work this year. Didn't get to the playoffs. The Rays didn't make it, but knowing the Rays, they always do end up in the hunt. I could see them going back to the playoffs next year, and we get to see Yandy's production and see what he does. But overall, he is a huge part of this team and a leader. Rosarena's departure, yeah, it's going to make him even more impactful.